entertainment or anger today, depends on how this goes, is a Dyson DC35 animal from the second-ish generation of their cordless cleaners. This one is here today before us because it doesn't work. Guy said he changed the battery on it, and that could be a thing. So it just stopped working, and there's not a great deal of information about these. They seem pretty reliable, which is why I'm going into this a little bit blind. There's a couple of points that we're going to check, but equally we could get to the point where we need to go a little bit more hardcore. So let's have a look and start off slowly and ramp up from there. Yes, hello, my vacuum cleaner and Dyson chums. How are you today? Yes, for some reason this old Hector is dead and not working. So we need to have a look at him, really. We'll take off the bin. There's no moving parts, really. We're going to have a clean off of the filter first, because somewhere under here is the sensor that detects that the filter is fitted. So first thing we're going to do is get the Victor V9, who's willingly volunteered to do the job that it is its job to do. Just give it a clean up. And just like that, everything is cleaner again. I'm not really holding out any hope at all. No, it doesn't. So that is not that. So my next thing that we are going to have a look at is this battery. And by have a look at the battery, I mean we shall touch these to the pins and see what voltage it has, having just realised that I'm in continuity mode, not voltage. What are we? 22 volts. Well, let's put it on to 200 because that is above 20. And oh, there's nothing. Absolutely nothing. Wow. That could be it. I mean, I do have another Dyson battery here, not a Dyson, a pattern one that is the same compatible, and it's also not giving out a voltage. I am going by, look, the inscriptions on there. However, because there are 3 prongs, I am resigning myself to the fact that you might need to test it in a slightly different way. Maybe under load, in some sort of special machine. I don't know. I don't have a special machine. What I do have though is a Dyson DC35 multi-floor. Yes! This came my way. It's actually my step-grandfather's, and he has now upgraded it because there we go. The floor head has started to just cut out and pulse. And that usually means that the motor or something similar is on its way out, and they're not particularly great anyway. So, fantastic luck that we happen to have this exact model, because we can use it to help us troubleshoot. Oh yes, we can. And that's also interesting. They will turn on without the filter, the little filter bag that must have been in a different generation. So we'll take this known working good battery that has just powered this. Oh dear. It is dead. I mean, I suppose we could confirm it further by putting the battery from that one into this. It needs to be in the machine for you to get anything out of it. So we have, these two are mine, we have a good battery, but sadly our trigger is not working. And they feel about the same. You can even hear it clicking the little, micro switch that's under there. The only real problem that I've got now is that these are an absolute sodular to get into, I'm pretty sure. So I'm going to go and find a screwdriver and we'll see if we can get to the trigger. It's probably not going to be as easy as it is with the Dyson V11 or V10. Ugh. Okay, with minimal damage of the two bits that you appear to have to pry on. This is the problem, you see. I've never actually taken one of these this far apart, so for all I know, there's a much easier way of doing it, but I do not know. And we find ourselves here, so we'll unplug this connector for the max button. Crikey, look how big the parts used to be. This is where you see the progress. Well, I'm used to the max button just being a button, and all of that circuitry is built in to the PCB on the back of the motor. Crikey, look how different it is. This is quite cool. Right, so need to do now is we'll go straight for the jugular and undo the little PCB what sits behind the switch. I'd like to get that out of the way as well. If it'll come out, this will be immensely helpful, because I don't quite know where it sits. Just get out of the way of that screw. There you go. That's all we care about. The PCB has a notch on it anyway. What do we reckon? How's it gonna lift? I don't want to. Oh no, I do want to put on these little wires. This is exactly what is holding that in. Haha. Probably going to be nothing wrong with it at all. So, right, well, we're here. Why won't you come out anymore? What have I missed? There's seemingly enough room for it to come through, but it's not coming out any more than that. But that's the back side of it anyway. It doesn't look particularly happy, and I have noticed as well that this is really quite loose. Where are we here? Compared to, it barely even clicks, to be honest. I think, no, really, nothing seems broken back there on the actual trigger. Oh, it is already pushed in. Yeah, I don't know. I think I'm going to spray some contact cleaner around and have a bit of an inspection. See if we find anything. Well, the easiest thing to do really was to take the known working one apart, and immediately I noticed the completely different look of the switch. This one pushes sort of down here to do its click, whereas this one is the same layout, size, except look, it's bent down. This has had a humongous impact to the back, I think. Problem is, I don't know if it's knackered the switch or not. It could just be. Oh yeah, no, it has. It's snapped, because I've just snapped off the remainder of the tab. So yeah, that's the problem. Is broken is switch. Problem with breaking is switch is that it's all part of this. I'd have to literally take everything out of this shell to repair it. It is not a user serviceable part because the crimps are soldered through the main board. So yeah, crikey, Dyson have come quite far, because at least you can buy the bits, or it's all modular on the V11 series. So yeah, the actual fix for this is quite conveniently, really. We all sort of knew it would happen. Put that in the bin and just give him this back part here with its working switch and call that job done. Well, what a long video for us to come to the conclusion of if your Dyson DC34 or 35, because they're the same machine, stops working and it's not the battery, it'll be your switch. Aha, you say. But obviously, can't just buy the switch, it's all soldered. Well, you probably could buy it, but you have to then solder it all back together. So, problem with these things is that you go onto eBay and you would find, basically, this for £15, because this bit is junk and no good at all. It's, not not the filter, it's the battery and source of the cyclone. These things aren't really very valuable anyway, so you're going to find loads of spares. Which is why in this instance it just makes sense to scrap the one that I didn't want to fix anyway, because, well, it's this one now, isn't it? Because it's got this issue, and I don't like DC35s anyway. Just can't be bothered to go through this and work it out. There's just no point. I'd rather have the space back in my front room, and the guy that owns this can have it back, because he asked me to fix it. He said, please fix it. I really like it. So I fixed it, and he can have a spare filter, because I have zero use for it myself. He may as well have that, and then he can have one as a spare to wash. So yeah, TLDR, you could, transplant the guts into another shell, but there's no point when the shell itself is so cheap. If you're a little old faithful Dyson, if you still like it for picking up little bits and putting back on the shelf, that's going to be the cheapest way forward. These things are worthless. There's no point in spending a lot of money on it, although I haven't worked out the bill yet. Ha ha ha! So that's it really. The DC35 fixed because we could cheat, but equally the cheat would have been the fix anyway, realistically, with something like that. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed, and I will see you soon. Bye bye.